Hi everybody, my name is John of Millinery and welcome back to my channel. So in this week's video I am putting together a new series called 5 ways, and this is going to be 5 ways to use a certain item to do a certain thing. So in this week's video we are going to be looking at 5 ways to use veiling. And if you just want to skip to a certain one that you want to see, on the screen now should be timestamps for each one of the pieces that were made in this video. They're also in the description box below as well. Just before we start, don't forget, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below and turn on all notifications so you're notified when I put out videos in future. Enough of me waiting on, let's crack on with this video. So in this video I am going to be using standard veiling, I have metallic veiling, I have like a vintage inspired veiling, and I believe this is a Merry Widow veiling, so we're going to be making a lovely bridal piece. So for this first one, really easy. I have this pink veiling here and I'm going to be using some chenille strips, and we're going to be customizing this veil. Basically what we're going to do is make our own custom veiling, and this is perfect for if you have a colour scheme where you want the colours you want but you just can't find it in a pre-made veiling. So I'm going to show you how to customize. So first of all, you want to take your chenille strip and cut using a pair of old scissors, not your best fabric scissors, and I would cut them into, say, just about an inch. Just about an inch. No more than that really. Or maybe just under an inch. I mean, yeah. So now we've got our pre-cut pieces ready. If you're using the veiling in like a flat piece, so say it's going around the face like this, you'll want to position your pieces before you start all sewing it down. So this is what we're going to do. So all you have to do is basically make it like a little V shape, tuck it in under one of the points on the veiling, and just fold the edges in on itself. And there you have your own chenille spot. So let me just do another one. So let's just make a V and then just turn that in on itself, just like that. Just want to say a massive shout out to Reggie. Thank you very much for your continued support on Patreon, and if you want to be part of this Patreon family, see the link in the description box below. I have tiers starting from just £1 per month. So what you're waiting for? Head over to Patreon now and see if you can find a tier that suits you. Now, as you can see, what I am doing here is my dots, I'm not positioning them in any particular way. I'm just putting them in random sporadic ways. If you are wanting more of a uniform look, I would suggest making sure your spots are in alignment, regard if it's like horizontally, vertically, diagonally. That's the other one as well. I would do that, but I like randomness, so I am putting mine on randomly. And as you can see, what I'm doing here is that I'm just tugging on that veiling just to loosen up any catches. So for example here it's looking a little slightly distorted, so all I'm doing is just pulling it so then the dot will sit on the center. So now this can be used in many different ways. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to gather it together and just quickly tack it to a headband. And there you have one cute, very simple, very easy fascinator, which you know I'm not a big fan of, but I kind of wanted to show you guys how easy it is to customize veiling. So that is our first of the 5. Let's move on to the second one. Okay, number 2. Change of clothes and recording on a different day. So, this one we are going to be using this beautiful, this is a vintage inspired veiling in a nice grey, and what I'm going to do is we're going to make a very simple head like fascinator with this. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to show you different ways. So this is a new way. So I've got this veiling here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to join the cut ends together in the middle, overlapping ever so slightly, just like so, and then I'm just going to quickly run a thread through the middle just to get, and we'll gather that. That's just a simple quick gather. There's nothing, this is so simple, this is so simple. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap that around a couple of times, and I'm just going to make sure that it's looking fluffy and full. So your where it gathers, it kind of wants to gather outwards as opposed to inwards. I don't know if that makes any sense, but you know, hey ho. So I'm just pulling on that, so that side looks fine, that side looks fine too. So I'm just gonna quickly tie this off. We have a headband again, just like before, and I want to kind of make this to one side, so I'm just going to position that where it wants to be and just wrap it around a couple of times just to help hold it into place, and then just sew that down. How are you liking the new format? Do you like this front and top down view? I am trying to make this viewing for you a lot more pleasurable. So yes, I am trying with new things. Right, so I'm just gonna cut that off, just like so. And you have it's a very floppy bow at the moment. As you can see, it's kind of all floppy and everything. But that's where this. So this is a little remnant of some ribbon I had. So I'm just gonna measure that out. And then I'm just going to sew the bottom down first, and then I'm just going to wrap the rest of it around and just sew the end down. So just to make it neater, I'm going to fold the end in like so, and there you have another quick and easy headpiece. Right, so number 3, bridal. This is a really, I mean, I haven't done this before, but I was playing around with things for this video and I was like, this is going to look good. So we're going to be using this white large bridal, no, it's not a bridal veiling. I will link that in the description box below, and I'll put a screenshot of it in now so you know what it is and where it's from. Yeah, I can't remember where this one's from. So I have my trusty hat block, and this is from Guy Moss Brown, and it's a bowler block, well, it's a bowler tip on a Pillbox kind of flat top thing. Anyway, So we're going to be using a headband again, so I'm going to pop the headband on the block, roughly where it would sit on someone's head, so we can see what's going on. And then taking the veiling, what I'm going to do is I'm going to gather it at one point and using a pin, so where are my pins? I'm just going to pin that to one side of the headband, and then I'm going to gather it again and just position it in a way that I like. So I'm going to just give that a twist and then pin that into place. And then just start playing around with the positioning of everything. Right, so as you can see here, in fact, let me show you at the front. As you can see here, there's too much at the top here. So, which bit do I like more? Which side do I like more? I kind of like this side because of this little detail here. Can you see the top? Yep. So I'm going to take this one off and instead what I'm going to do is I'm going to gather on a diagonal. Give that a twist. Let's see, how does that look? Yeah, no, it's still not working. So what I think I will do is there we go. Pin that to the top. And then I want loads of veil at the front. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to gather that here. Yep, and pin that. Cool. So this is starting to look exactly how I like it. It's got like lots of different angles. It's not perfectly symmetrical. This is exactly what I'm looking for when I'm trying to do bridal. So then what I'm going to do is just sew down where I've pinned it into place. So I'm going to do that and then I'll be back in a second. What I want to do is just trim any of the ends off. So what I like to do is do this by eye. Do I have my glasses? I do, so I apologise. And now I'm just going to go through and just, so if you look here, let me see if I can, so if you look on here, this one here, can you see these two at the end? So I'm going to cut them. So it's got like a nice square on the end. Can you see that? So then what I'm going to just go around and just make sure I trim everything nice and neatly, so that it kind of gives you this effect on the edge of the veil, this scalloped edge here. So yeah, I'm going to go and trim all that up now. And then now we're going to be adding crystals. You all know I love crystals. These are Swarovski crystals in size SS20 in chalk white. These have been discontinued. However, Swarovski is no longer be selling to the public anymore. So, my usual UK supplier has loads of new, like Precocia, and another one that I didn't know. So if you want me to do a video about see if they're going to be any different, let me know. And all I'm doing now is just adding a tiny dot of glue onto the back, and I'm just going to position a crystal there. We're done. So this is a very quick, very easy bridal veil. So let me pop it on. What do you think? It's just got the right amount of glitz and glam, not by using AB crystals neither. For the first time on this channel, I've probably not used AB crystals. So there you go, a nice asymmetrical bridal veil as number 3. So the next one, this is going to be good. Right, so we're on to number 4, and this one is going to be a bit of a different one. So I'm using 2 different colours of veiling, and first of all, what we're going to do is we're going to figure out which one do we want at the top and which one do we want at the bottom. So I'm thinking, because I'm using a pre-made base, I think the blue should be at the top and the green should be at the bottom. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to join these 2 pieces, but we're going to join them with a bit of like a zigzag design. So first of all, we'll put this one to one side, and then taking the veiling, I'm just going to cut away some from the bottom. Now I'm going to see if I can zoom in, but what I'm doing is I'm leaving the square of the veiling intact, because that's what we're going to use to join the 2 pieces together. So what I'm going to do is I'm cutting this away in different angles. So just like so. Okay, so now we have the bottom piece cut away, and we're not going to use this anymore because for this, but it can be used for something. I think it looks pretty nice, so we're going to put that to one side. And then this is where the tedious bit comes into play. We want to match what we've just cut here on here. Right, so we have our blue already done, so I'm going to lay that on top of the green, just making sure that it matches in terms of width, which is a little bit over, but that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. And then because we're going to join them, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start at one side here, just like so, and just join up not perfectly, but just join up the squares. And then let me just see if I show you on the top camera. This side needs to join to the blue side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this side away, leaving the square on this side, which means I can join them 2 together. So if I show you what I mean, so that's not joined up perfectly, but it's joined up enough. So I'm just going to cut now into this. So I'm going to cut up to this point here. So now that would join that, just like there. So the two squares match. So I'm gonna cut the rest of this off camera because this is going to take me a while and I need to put my glasses on, and I'll be back with you once I've done that. So I have cut everything out, however I have made a little bit of a mistake. So I've been playing with it and I've been matching it up and making sure what I'm about to do is correct. So what I've done, if you have made a mistake, line it up, just make sure it's, if you move things around, it is going to still be fine. If you can see here, this section here, I'm going to have to cut some away. This section here, I'm going to have to cut some away. Once again, this section here, because what I've done is I've used this side as my line-up side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start attaching it from this side, and I'm going to cut away this section here. So anything from this section that doesn't match up, I am going to cut away. So some super tack glue, really easy, really simple, and then all I'm going to do is just pop a dot on each of the squares. Now this dries clear, so that's not an issue. Right, so, and then I'm just going to line up my squares with blue, like so. So this is something that isn't going to something you can do quickly. It is going to take some time. So I'm going to leave that to dry, and so then when I'm working on it, I can, you know, I'm not pulling on wet glue. And then I'm gonna just carry on with this off camera. One thing I did notice though was this veiling is from the same range of veiling, but it is slightly different. Now I don't know why. It might be because it's folded or something like that. So that's probably why it's not matching up perfectly. But you know, we'll work with it. It's something that we're going to work with. So I'll be back when all this is glued together. Well, okay, so that took a lot longer than I expected. So we now have our completed veiling. So you can now see what that looks like. So it's now got this edge. It is a little, like, it's not flat. I don't understand why, because it does match up. I know I was going to show you that completely, like, just ended up just making this. So there you go, there is your two-tone veiling. Okay, so what we're going to do now is I'm going to take this base, so this is just a normal cinema base, and just quickly stitch it to the headband, like so. So I've now got the headband secured to the base, or the base secured to the headband, and all I'm going to do is I'm just going to gather this top edge of the veiling, just like so. and sew it. Just sew it down. Just make sure I position it first. Yep, that's fine. And then I'm just going to sew this to the base. Okay, so this is it's just a little flower that I made with some chenille strands. So I'm just going to quickly sew that into place. There you have a two-tone veiling fascinator. Let me know what you think. This took me quite a while to make sure to get the veiling done, so this is a little time consuming, but you know, I think the effect actually works really nice. So that's this one down. Onto the last way to use veiling. Right, so onto the last and final one, and we're going to be using veiling. So we've got this beautiful gold veiling, and we're going to be using it to cover this navy pillbox. So I've already gone ahead and blocked the sides and the tip, so we're just going to put the tip to one side for now, and I've saved a bit of veiling for that. And what I've done is this top here, I've cut it with no edge, with no sort of lip, because I'm going to be covering that anyway. The bottom, I have put a lip, so you can see there, it's got like a fold so you can turn it in. That's all good. Now I like to, when I'm doing pillboxes, I like to do it so then the edge, so this is a bias strip, and I wrap it around the block and pull it, and so it's nice and taut. Then this edge, I always like to get it like to one side. So that's going to be where we're going to start attaching the veiling. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by just folding over the veiling. I'm going to try and keep an equal spacing as well, and if you can see here, there's a join in the veiling there, and there's a join there, so I'm going to try and sew them together. So I'm going to go through on that side, and I'm going to come out on that side. So I'm just going to go around and do that all the way around here, and I'll be right back. Right, so this is now attached to the bottom, and what I'm going to do is turn that in on in itself. And then this is where you want to decide how big or wide do you want your the veiling to be stretched. Now I don't want it to be stretched at all, so I'm just literally turning it in just like that all the way around. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do exactly the same as I did before. I'm just going to sew through this bit here and just go all the way around and cut away any excess. So I'll be back once I have done this. Okay, right, so I have finished putting the veiling on the side, as you can see here, and now we're going to put the veiling on the tip. So really simple, all you would want to do is, just like before, just sew it round, like just sew it round, sew it onto the lip. However, what you are going to want to make sure is you get it angled correctly. For example, you know, you want to make sure that the way the veiling goes matches kind of, you know, to a degree what is on the side. So I'm just having a quick look now to see what that looks like. I might actually offset that a little bit so it looks like a defined top and bottom. Perfect. Right, so that's going to one side, and then all I'm going to do is I'm just going to sew this to the lip. So I'm just going to do that now. Right, so I have my tip and I have my side. So I'm going to pop that in, so from the bottom to the top, and I'm just going to push. Now it will distort ever so slightly. That's fine. Right, now, because I'm using something to hide this here, I'm not going to neaten this up, but if you are leaving it bare, you are going to want to make sure that this is nice and even. You want to make sure all your veiling is tucked, edges are tucked away. In fact, I'm just going to do that because, you know. And then just this section here. And then I'm just going to go in and I'm just going to sew the tip to the side of the crown. And there you have it. There is one veiling covered pillbox. Now obviously we are going to finish this off. So I have like an offcut of cinema, which is going to be used just to hide that join here. And I'm also going to be using this rope, I suppose we can call it, trim, and that's just going to go around the top. So let me set that up and I will be right back. So there you go, 5 ways to use veiling. Which was your favourite? This one is my favourite. I actually really do like how this has turned out. It's a little traditional for me, but it's nice. I actually do like this one. So thank you for getting this far in the video. Make sure you follow me on all my social media, which was linked in the description box below, as well as going across the screen as we speak. I will be back next week. I'm filming these videos completely out of order, so I've got no idea which is coming up next week, but it will be something fun. So I will look forward to that and I will see you then. Bye.